Good evening to our viewers watching on television and those joining us online across our social media platforms. I am Madana Doric with the Wednesday, May 20th edition of the Guyana TV9 News. In the headlines tonight, Guyana locks in 30% land protection to shield rainforests amid oil-driven economic boom. DPP presses charges against Mobil explosion co-accused, rejecting sole actor claimed by MASTERMIND. Be fair to the public. President Ali directs transport operators to slash profits, not commuters. And poor visibility of animal-drawn carts, sparking deadly nighttime road hazards. Now for the news in depth. President Dr. Mohamed Irfan Ali has issued a direct appeal for fairness to Guyana's public transport operators, demanding they slash their own profit margins to shield the public from rising global fuel prices after pocketing over $100 billion in government tax relief without ever lowering fares. Details in this report.
The head of state reminded citizens that although Guyana is now a major crude oil producer, the country still depends heavily on imported refined fuel products, leaving it vulnerable to fluctuation on the international energy market. He stressed that the government has invested billions of dollars over the years to cushion consumers from rising fuels costs and inflationary pressures.
You will recall that the government of Guyana removed the excise tax on imported products, refined products, to zero. That would have meant that over the years, all those who consume refined products, whether it's the hire car, the speedboat operators, the minibuses, the private cars, whoever consumed these products, that the government would have taken up that cost, which amounts to about over $100 billion annually.
According to the president, the removal of the excise tax has generated annual savings exceeding $1 billion for consumers, translating to approximately $500 less per gallon of gasoline or diesel purchased locally. He noted that minibus operators, taxi drivers, speedboat services, truckers, farmers, and businesses have all benefited significantly from the measure.
For minibus operating in Georgetown and consuming an average of, let us say, more than 12 gallons of fuel per day, which is 50 liters. The policy delivers savings to about $6,000 per day, directly improving, of course, profitability and helping to keep fares affordable. Now that we have this challenge and we have utilized fully this tool that was available to us, I think the minibus operators, the taxi, the speedboat operators, and of course, truckers and all stakeholders within this framework now have to play their role.
Despite those interventions, President Ali pointed out that transportation fares were not reduced when fuel prices declined because of government support measures. As a result, he said operators and service providers are now expected to absorb some of the impact of current global increases by reducing profit margins rather than passing the full burden onto consumers. The president also revealed that since March 2026, the government has implemented additional subsidies on diesel and gasoline by reducing profit margins within the fuel supply chain. He added that the state-owned fuel supplier Guyana has already significantly lowered its profitability to help stabilize prices locally, while the government continues pursuing long-term measures such as improving port infrastructure, dredging the Damraro River, and exploring the establishment of an oil refinery to strengthen Guyana's energy security and reduce shipping costs in the future. Danador, Guyana TV9 News.
Attorney General Anel Nandlao hailed the Court of Appeal's landmark ruling in the unlimited guarantee case as a victory for economic stability, declaring that environmental liability must be grounded in realistic financial mechanisms rather than limitless obligations that defy global insurance practices. Here's more.
Attorney General Anil Nandlal described the decision as a significant legal outcome for the state, reinforcing that liability must be grounded in realistic and legally recognized financial mechanisms rather than open-ended or undefined obligations. The case, widely known as the Unlimited Guarantee Matter, originated from a High Court ruling that triggered strong public debate over environmental safeguards and the obligations of oil producers. The Court of Appeal overturned key aspects of that decision, agreeing with the state's position that that the earlier ruling imposed requirements that go beyond what the law provides or what is commercially feasible within global insurance and financial systems. Speaking on his issues in the news program, Attorney General Anil Nandlal said the government's involvement in the case was aimed at protecting the public interest while ensuring stability in Guyana's expanding petroleum sector. He noted that while liability for environmental damage is firmly established in law, it must be supported by enforceable and measurable financial arrangements. A central finding accepted by the court, according to the AG, was that no financial institution or insurer can underwrite an undefined or limitless risk. That reasoning, he said, was fundamental to the rejection of the idea that oil companies could be compelled to provide an unlimited guarantee, a concept deemed impractical within established legal and commercial practice.
But the court can't order the parties to produce something that the law doesn't require, or worse yet, something that doesn't exist. The case was appealed. The Attorney General joined the appeal. And all the arguments which we were putting forward were upheld by the Court of Appeal.
Minister Nandlal said criticism suggesting the government was aligned with oil companies misrepresents both the legal position and the economic realities of the sector. He maintained that the state has a responsibility to remain engaged in the industry to safeguard national development interests, including infrastructure expansion and the public spending supported by petroleum revenues.
Critics of the government have rushed in and have cried that we are in bed. The government is in bed with the oil company. Crass ignorance. Crass ignorance. The government representing the people of Guyana is an important stakeholder in this industry.
The ruling is expected to shape how environmental risk and financial assurance are structured in Guyana's oil industry going forward. While debate continues among critics and stakeholders, the government is framing the decision as a clarification of legal limit that balances environmental accountability with the practical requirements of operating a rapidly growing oil economy.
The fatal accident charge against 61-year-old Nate Ram Anghat was officially withdrawn on Wednesday after the family of deceased motorcyclist Jack Dio Bim Singh decided to discontinue the case. Bim Singh's mother, Nadira Nathu, said that no amount of money could replace her son and that her decision was driven by a desire to allow him to rest in peace. Following the family's decision, the Director of Public Prosecutions recommended that the matter be formally dropped. Bim Singh died in February after the motorcycle he was riding collided with Anghat's vehicle along the quarantine. More news after the break. Stay tuned.
GCOM is currently conducting a national registration exercise. Who can register? Anyone who will be 14 years or older by June 30, 2026 and is a Guyanese citizen by birth, descent, naturalization, or is a citizen from a Commonwealth country living in Guyana for 1 year or more. How to apply for registration? You must visit the GCOM registration office that is responsible for your area of residence to apply for registration, name change, or correction. You must have the following source documents as might be relevant: original birth certificate or valid Guyana passport for new registration, original marriage certificate and original birth certificate in the case of a name change by marriage, original deed poll and original birth certificate in the case of a name change by deed poll, original naturalization certificate and original birth certificate or valid passport in the case of naturalization. This registration exercise will end on May 29, 2026. You need to apply for a transfer if you now live at a different address than the one you were registered at. For more information, contact GCOM on 225-02-7729 or visit www.gcom.org.gy. GCOM is currently conducting a national registration exercise. Who can register? Anyone who will be 14 years or older by June 30, 2026 and is a Guyanese citizen by birth, descent, naturalization, or is a citizen from a Commonwealth country living in Guyana for 1 year or more. It is the civic duty and legal responsibility of all Guyanese who meet the eligibility criteria to apply for registration. By so doing, you will be ensuring that you are issued a national identification card and be included in the official list of electors for future elections, provided you meet all eligibility criteria. This registration exercise will end on May 29, 2026. You need to apply for a transfer if you now live at a different address than the one you were registered at. For more information, contact the GCOM on 225-027729 or visit www.gcom.org.gy.
I know you have work to do, but come, I just need a minute of your time. It won't even take that long. So, I have a proposal. We could do besties in Punta Cana. Really need a getaway. And not to worry, I went to Sunita Travel Agency and they recommended a few hotels that do all-inclusive stays. And they're very affordable. The vibes. Let me tell you something. We do not want to miss a trip to Punta Cana. Why? Ziplining. No, I know this is not your vibe, but please, listen. Hold on, wait. I know you like throw it back. There's a boat party. We could go there. And then there's this thing called buggy adventure, some buggy something. I don't know, but I want to be a buggy or whatever it is. I just want to be a part of it. And then we got snorkeling. Oh, this thing is so ugly. Please, you be next to uglier things than this. Stop it. Trust me, you're going to love it. It'll be just you and me, Punta Cana, drinks, just having the time of our life. Not to worry. We've got many flight options, and they made sure that they went through it with me. The prices are affordable. Trust me. I know you like thinking about the budget or whatever. Remember the time when we went and we missed the flight? Yeah, when we booked with Sunita Travel Agency, even if it happens, with slim chance, they'll know what to do and we won't be stranded like we did the last time. This solid plan. You, me, Punta Cana. Cheap. It won't even hurt your pocket. Please say yes. Yes.
Welcome back. You're watching the Guyana TV9 News Bulletin. The Director of Public Prosecutions is pressing forward with charges against all remaining defendants in the fatal October 2025 Mobil gas station explosion, directly rejecting claims by the self-proclaimed mastermind that he acted entirely alone. Here's more.
Venezuelan national Daniel Alexander Ramirez Piodomo, who is accused of orchestrating the bombing that rocked the nation and claimed the life of Soraya Bourne, had previously told the court he was solely responsible for the attack and that urged authorities to release the other defendants. However, during Wednesday's hearing before Magistrate Faith Magasti, the court was informed that the DPP has decided to proceed with the case against the remaining accused. Still facing joint charges in connection with the deadly explosions are Alexander Bethencourt, Johnny Boudram, and Crystal Lacruz. The development comes after Ramesh Piodomo and Wayne Correa were freed in April when the court upheld a new case submission in their favor. The matter has been adjourned to June 8, with paper committal proceedings are expected to begin. The explosion at the Mobil gas station sent shockwaves across the country, sparking widespread public concern over safety and security while investigators work to determine whether the incident was part of a broader criminal plot. The death of Bourne and the scale of destruction intensified national attention on the case, making it one of the most closely watched criminal proceedings in recent years. Adana Durg, and TV9 News.
The Environmental Protection Agency, EPA, says more than 20 people have already been fined since March as it intensifies anti-littering enforcement across Guyana. According to Surj Paul Singh, offenders are being identified through social media reports, the Clean 592 app, and even vehicle license plates. Fines can reach up to $50,000 for individuals and $100,000 for businesses. EPA Executive Director Kimraj Parsram reminded citizens that littering laws have been in place since 2013 and warned, once you litter, you are liable to penalties. Deadly nighttime road hazards have prompted an urgent warning from Inspector David Innes, who is ordering animal drawn cart operators to use immediate safety measures before poor visibility costs lives. Details in this report.
The traffic officer cautioned that cars being operated without proper lighting can easily go unnoticed by drivers on dark roadways, increasing the likelihood of serious collisions, injuries, and fatalities. Speaking on the issue, Inspector Innes reminded operators that the law requires animal-drawn cars to be equipped with lights to ensure they are visible during the hours of darkness. He explained that under Regulation 36A of the Motor Vehicular Road Traffic Regulation, carts must carry a white light to the front and a red light to the rear while traveling on public roads at night.
When carts are unlighted, drivers may not notice them until it's too late, especially on dark roads. This can lead to serious accidents, injuries, even loss of life. A simple light can make a big difference in preventing collision and keeping everyone safe.
The traffic officer noted that the absence of proper lighting creates dangerous conditions not only for cart operators but also for motorists, cyclists, and pedestrians sharing the roadways. According to him, nighttime visibility remains one of the biggest challenges for drivers, particularly along poorly lit stretches of road where animal-drawn carts are commonly used.
The law under Regulation 36A of the Motor Vehicle and Road Traffic Regulation, Chapter 5102, requires these carts to carry a white light to the front and a red light to the rear, so other road users can see them clearly during the hours of darkness.
He emphasized that road safety is a shared responsibility and called on operators to ensure their carts are properly equipped before traveling after dark. The warning comes as authorities continue efforts to reduce road accidents across Guyana through increased public awareness and enforcement measures. Police are encouraging all road users to follow traffic regulations and adopt safer practices to prevent avoidable tragedies on the nation's roadways.
We will be back after the short break. Stay tuned.
Want to place your death announcements and in memoriam messages on Channel 9? Call 592-761-5006, 710-5008, 600-5006. Or visit our office at Lot 85A Lamaha Street, Albertown, Georgetown, Century 21 Building.
Guyana, Channel 9 is now Guy TV9, proudly under new management. We're building stronger with a balanced and open platform for all advertisers. Whether you're promoting a business, service, or event, your message belongs right here. So choose your spot, news, primetime, or anytime, and reach viewers across Guyana. With affordable rates and professional service, Guy TV9 is your partner in progress. So visit us at Lot 21A, Lamaha Street, Georgetown, in the Century 21 building, or call 600-5006 or 761-5006. Guyana TV9. New leadership, fresh outlook, real results.
Welcome back. You're watching the Guyana TV9 News Bulletin. Guyana will formally protect 30% of its landmass under a major new conservation strategy designed to balance its explosive, oil-driven economic boom with the preservation of its massive, globally critical rainforest ecosystem. Here's more.
Minister Barrett made the announcement during a ceremony at the Marriott Hotel in Kingston, marking 30 years since the passage of the Aerocram Act. He highlighted that roughly 9% of Guyana is already protected under areas such as Kanashen, Kaieteur National Park, the Kanuku Mountains, Shell Beach, and the Aerocram Forest, which continue to play a key role in biodiversity conservation. He said Guyana's development trajectory has changed the country's global standing, arguing that oil production has brought unprecedented international visibility while conservation efforts have remained intact. According to him, the country's model demonstrates that economic expansion and environmental protection do not have to be mutually exclusive.
That Guyana has truly gained global prominence because we are producing hydrocarbons today. And some of the environmentalists will tell you, stop producing hydrocarbons, stop mining, you're destroying the forests. But our model as a country and a government is that we believe that we can strike the balance between economic development and environmental sustainability.
Minister Barrett also pointed to criticism from environmental advocates who oppose fossil fuel expansion, saying Guyana's approach is to strike a practical balance between development needs and environmental responsibility. He stressed that the country's record shows both strong economic growth and one of the lowest deforestation rates globally.
And I think sometimes we as a country, as people, we need to boast too, because we have really struck a balance that we can boast about. We have struck a balance where we have seen economic development unfolding on a daily basis in front of our very eyes, while today we can come here and celebrate.
The minister added that Guyana's ability to sustain economic expansion while preserving large portion of its rainforest is rare internationally, noting that few countries can claim both rapid growth and strong conservation outcomes at the same time. The 30% protection target, he said, reinforces the government's intention to strengthen that dual-track model in the years ahead.
In tonight's regional news, former Cuban President Raul Castro has been indicted in the United States on murder and conspiracy charges linked to the 1996 shootdown of two civilian planes operated by a Cuban exile group, which killed 4 people. U.S. officials say the charges marked a major escalation in pressure on Cuba's communist government under Donald Trump. Castro, 94, remains in Cuba and is unlikely to be extradited. The indictment further deepens already intense U.S.-Cuba relations. Internationally, an outbreak of the rare Bundibugyo strain of Ebola virus disease in eastern Congo has caused at least 139 suspected deaths and nearly 600 suspected cases, with 51 confirmed cases and 2 cases reported in Uganda. Healthcare workers say they are undertrained and underprotected as hospitals become overwhelmed with limited isolation facilities and rising shortages of disinfectants and supplies. The outbreak is spreading in conflict-affected areas of Ituri and North Kivu, where armed groups, open borders, and weak surveillance have delayed detention. WHO warned that the epidemic may be much larger than reported and could have been spreading undetected for months. Vaccine development is still months away, and response efforts remain strained. Those are major headlines for tonight's newscast. For more trending stories, follow our Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube platforms at GYTV9. I'm Madana Dark. Thank you for watching.